Hello and welcome to Happy Health Podcast. My name is Rita Rivera, and Happy Health Podcast is a place to discover and learn about alternative modalities for healing, for well being, and for graceful aging. My guest today is Lorraine Stern, shaman, healer, and teacher. So, welcome, Lorraine Stern, to Happy Health Podcast. And I really am so grateful to have you join us. I have a very warm place in my heart for the shamanistic culture. And I would like to start off by you just sharing with our viewers what drew you to the alternative world of healing.
Oh, absolutely. Being a mother is what really started it all. I have two beautiful, beautiful children, and my oldest was always sick.
Mm.
And so nothing was getting her better. So I started with homeopathy by accident when a friend asked if she could give her two little pills. And those magical pills made my daughter happy. And so it went from there to just studying homeopathy. And, it opened up a big, big place. And that place was alternative health. So I went on to learn body work. And then from there, discovered shamanism. And
Mm.
shamanism opened that door to, what can I say? It opened the door to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
And can you share your story of how you came into the shamanic world?
Well, my story is kind of by accident. I started studying with a homeopath that I was drawn to, and his name is Massimo Mangliavori. He's a wonderful homeopath that studied with a lot of indigenous healers in Peru and all of South America. And then he had us do a proving where we blindly took a substance, and there were just a handful of us that actually had good reactions from that substance. And it happened to be a shamanic substance. And because of that, I ended up really having a wonderful experience that opened me up to shamanism.
Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Wow. Mhm. And that was a personal healing for you? Do you feel it opened your heart?
You, you know, it opened more my belly. It's going to sound really funny, but a lot of different shamanic substances will open you up wherever you need the opening.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
for me, this particular substance really helped with my belly. And
mhm.
that's that place where we take action in the world and how we step into who we are. And
Right.
it's also the place that carries fear, and it carries uh, all different things. It's our digestive place. It's our place where we really not only get things done, but how we show up for the world.
Mhm.
And that substance showed me how a little taste of who I was and my power in being a woman. And that opened me up,
And
opened up
this
my heart.
substance that you're talking about, was it the ayahuasca, and was it a homeopathic dose, or was it something else?
Well, I hesitate to say, but what I took was salvia divinorum,
Mhm.
which is not. It's more of a something that the shaman use in Mexico, and they actually use it, and those are the shaman that survive the process, because it's not a nice substance. So I don't recommend anyone taking it, please. But
This was homeopathic dose that you took, though. Mhm,
yeah,
mhm,
it was a homeopathic dose, and
mhm.
when you take it in homeopathy, it's a lot more gentle.
Yes, right. Good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
even before we go any farther, I'd love for you to tell us what shamanism is, or how would you describe shamanism to someone who's really unfamiliar with that path?
Well, shamanism is for me a coming back. It's a coming back not only to oneself, but coming back into this whole world, coming back into nature. And when you come back into nature, you're also really understanding where you are in the world, and who you are
Mhm.
inside in your heart. And what shamanism really for me does is show other people how to get to that place, how to get to their heart, how to get to their soul.
Mhm.
And so shamanism is really, really heart to heart work, or soul to soul work with others, so you can step into your own divinity and who you are in this world
Right.
through nature.
Mhm. 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 So if someone comes to you for a shamanic session, what would that look like? Or how would you work with someone who is dealing with some personal issues or health issues?
Well, it's always dependent on what the person wants healed first, right? And in shamanism, it's really going into and asking from a very sacred place, and asking what that person needs for themselves, for healing. And really it's going soul to soul.
Mm.
And so it's connecting soul to soul, heart to heart, and journeying and seeing where I'm going to use the word dis-ease in the body
Mhm.
is, and where have we lost that mind body connection.
Right. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
you bring that mind body connection back on board, like other modalities, and really listen to what the soul is saying, then healing is almost spontaneous,
Mm,
right?
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you mentioned the word journeying. So is that part of what you do? So if someone comes to you with an imbalance,
Mhm.
you use your skills of journeying to discover the roots of this, where this came from. Is that how you use journeying?
Yeah, basically, what the shaman does is journey down, we can call it into the underworld first, to see what's going on in the unconscious, right? And then from there, it's just journeying and asking spirit and that person's spirit to show the shaman what's going on,
Mhm.
and how to unravel it. You know, is it ancestral? Is it soul loss? Is it the countless other things that happen when trauma and drama happen to someone?
Right. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Wow. And so, generally, what kind of person seeks you out? People that have had injury? Is it more emotional? Is it spiritual? What would you say the clientele that come to you, the reason that they seek out working with a shaman?
Well, most people have forgotten who they are inside, and most people are doing, 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 trying to make it in this world, just really trying to be the best they can be.
Mhm,
But in doing that, they've lost who they are inside.
mhm,
And with that, they've also lost that connection to the body. And so most of the people that I see are wanting to connect back to who they are, their divinity, and as the Carol call it, their Inca seed. Okay, so it's important. Yeah.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Wow. And you have been on quite a journey yourself in your own mentorship, in your training to become a shaman. And I'm sure you have some fabulous stories, but you have most of your shamanic training has been with Peruvian, in the Peruvian culture. Is that true?
True.
And I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your own mentorship in bringing you forward as a shaman.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, every single teacher has made a difference. And the reason why is because they're so heart centered. The Peruvian people as a whole are very, very heart centered. I'm lucky enough to have a Peruvian mother, so lots of family in Peru that I can visit and stay with. So
Mhm.
lots of reasons to go down there. But I've been lucky enough to study with many indigenous healers, and one of my favorite first healers is one Don Mariano Apasa Flores, and beautiful, beautiful man that taught me how to teach. And,
Mhm.
and then I've gone on to study with Jose Luis Herrera, who really taught me how to engage with earth spirits and how to bring those spirits alive in my practice and become a much better practitioner.
Mm, mhm.
And currently, I have to say, big amount of gratitude for Juan Nunez del Prado, because he's taught me how to see the world from a different perspective, from a higher perspective.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
within that, all the other Caro and all the other beautiful, beautiful healers there. And
Mhm.
each one has their own little, I don't know, I'm going to just say sugar of sweetness to offer.
That is
So,
so great. And
yeah.
so when you do this mentorship or this apprentice,
Mhm.
you do journeys to sacred places in Peru and um, other experiences that you have to personally go through as you build. I know in the Peruvian culture is what's called a mesa, is your all the power that you've accumulated on these journeys. So any story that you'd like to share about any of your pilgrimages?
Wow. Well, I will tell you my most incredible story. And I was, it didn't occur in Peru, but I was studying with Don Mariano. And I had been praying, praying, praying for a change in my life. I had a father that was very sick, and I was emotionally attached, and I was trying to just separate myself out. And I was praying so hard and so hard, and see Don Mariano for healing. And he looked at me and he says, "There's nothing wrong. You have to heal yourself." And so I went back and prayed some more. I was in North Carolina in the redwoods, or not the redwoods, but in the woods. And I decided, I said, okay, I'm gonna give it up. I packed my bag. I was alone. I packed my bags and headed to the airport. And when I got to the airport, they opened up my bag, and in it was this beautiful crystal. I didn't pack that crystal. That crystal, as I held it later, after they asked me, "Hey, has anyone given you anything that you don't know about?" Right? After I held that crystal, I realized that it was a message directly from spirit, and
Mm.
it materialized. So that's my most grandiose story. But
Mhm. Yeah.
every time, the stories and the people and the changes that happen in Peru are amazing.
Yeah. And the beauty. I mean, I've been to Peru about 4 times, and you know, what can you say? It's extraordinary. The mountains there and the sacred places there are really beautiful. Do you lead trips to Peru?
I don't lead trips. It's right now, it's my sacred place for myself to reset and regroup. And the mountains and the rivers and the lakes become your friend. And it's going home to see my friends
Mhm.
and to commune with them. And so what I prefer to do is actually take that back with me, all those teachings back with me here to California, so that I can share them
Yeah.
with others and
Mhm.
show them how to do all those wonderful, marvelous things that the Peruvian, shaman and Pacos teach.
That's beautiful. And I know that you do offer quite a lot here in California. You are in Watsonville or Castroville, is that correct? Yeah.
Chesterville.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm in no man's land. I'm in the country over off Elkhorn in a beautiful slough area.
Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about your offerings, because I know that you offer a lot, and a lot of what you offer is also free to the public.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, it's my belief system that shamanism needs to be available to everyone. So every month I have fire ceremonies, They're all free to the public so that people can come and enjoy and really learn how to work with the fire spirits and learn how to change that alchemical reaction with the fire happens and people change. And then, I have women's groups. Those are also free just for women to get together with women and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
I will certainly have information on our website of how people can reach you and also come to these ceremonies. And then you also are bringing in some of your teachers into the area. So tell us a little bit about what's coming up.
well, in May coming up, I have Juan Nunez del Prado. He's coming the 22nd to the 27th of May. And he's teaching about 3 different classes here, and it's the teachings of his teachers, and he's really teaching us how to engage energetically with this world and how to engage also with ourselves. Beautiful, beautiful teachings. Beautiful teachings. So.
And how long is he here for, or how long is the workshop?
Well, there's going to be 3 workshops. So the nice thing is people can go to one or all of them. We're going to make him accessible. And then he's also very accessible in the evening. So I'm going to invite people over just to sit and talk and get to know him, because anytime you can really sit with someone that understands the medicine and can just, really look at you and understand you in a really deep way is meaningful. So I'm still working out the details as to the how, but he's going to be available for people just to come and see and meet.
And does he also do private sessions? Can people book a private session with him?
He does. He is a healer in his own right, but most of the time he doesn't do healings, and so that's something I've been having people ask me about. So I will get back. I will definitely get back with that.
So I would love for you to share a few of your pearls of wisdom for anyone who's watching this interview that may be dealing with some imbalances in their body and want to look out for alternative healing, that maybe have never really thought about shamanism or understand what it could or how it could really change or help them shift. And also I want to know about how that interfaces with traditional medicine. Or can shamanism interface with traditional medicine?
Well, let me address that first, because I have more than once been in the hospital helping with a client undergoing surgery, undergoing all sorts of procedures, right? In tandem with the doctors, keeping people calm so that healing from the doctors or surgery can occur much with grace and ease, And then really people wanting to go see a shaman, there's 3 reasons where I think shamanism is actually better than any other modality. And one is if someone feels they need a soul retrieval. So if they feel that aspects of themselves are really not living inside themselves, they're living outside themselves. And they've lost a part of who they are. And then the second one would be some ancestral issues, family issues that no matter what someone's tried, nothing's happening. And so and then third is if they do feel that there's so much going on inside, the voices within themselves are so loud, then shamanism is really great for pulling out all that energy that doesn't belong so that their own inner voice can be heard.
Right. Yeah. That's beautifully said. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I really want to encourage people who are in the area to come, especially to the despacho ceremonies that you do. If you wanted to say a few words about the despacho, that would be awesome.
Sure. Sure. Well, the despacho is the Andean shaman's best way of bringing healing. And so they are one of my favorite ceremonies. And so, what it is, it's creating a whole world within a world. And it's a beautiful ceremony that gives meaning to every little part of life. And within that life is represented in a beautiful mandala full of berries and fruits and candies and chocolates. And each one of those encapsulates a part of nature in the world. And within that nature, we put our prayers, we blow them into leaves and put our wishes. And then after we create this thing of beauty, we wrap it up and we'll either, most of the time, sometimes it goes out in the water, but most of the time it's either buried or put in the fire so that spirit can start changing it. And it's through that change that the magic happens. The magic happens within us, and the magic happens outside us, and new opportunities happen very, very easily. New health, new job, new love, all the all the things people ask about are coming with grace and ease. And
beautiful. I've been to several of your despacho ceremonies, and they are really very heartful, and they are graceful, and they're beautiful. And I really, again, recommend people that are in the area. It's a beautiful way to come in and meet you, experience this tradition, and just be open. So I really want to thank you, Lorraine, so much for the work that you're doing in the world. I know that you've impacted many, many people, and I know you will continue to do so. And I'm going to have all of your information on our website. And again, I really want to thank you for coming on today and meeting our viewers.
That's my pleasure. And, I love and appreciate you greatly. So,
Thank you, my darling. Have a great day.
all right.